Jenna Lynch, and I'm here with Dennis Houlihan, part of the Clean River Project. We're going to have him tell us a little bit about the project and how it's been going and how the river's changed over time since he started. So first, do you want to tell us a little bit about the Clean River Project and how it got started?
Sure. Clean River Project started 8 years ago by a man named Rocky Morrison and his wife Paula. They actually got the idea to start this cleanup, and we did a major cleanup. We got all the neighbors together, and we started collecting. It was like a treasure hunt. We started collecting all this trash that was on the riverbanks. Before we did this, we used to drive up and down on our boats, and we'd see the trash on the river. And of course, it kind of was disgusting to look at, and it was embarrassing to bring your friends out there. I'd have people come up from New York, friends of mine, to visit, and I was kind of embarrassed to take them out on my boat. The boat was great, that was fun, but the trash was not. So it was a little bit embarrassing to do that. So Rocky said, why don't we try to do something? So we started doing it. And that first day, we had so much trash that we filled up 30-odd dumpsters. Those are those great big giant dumpsters. We filled that up with trash. Everything from televisions, computers, kids' toys, bottles, papers, you name it. There was all kinds of articles from people's homes that were construction materials, all kinds of wood and things like that. And we just started putting it in a dumpster and getting rid of it. And we haven't looked back. We just kept doing it.
So progress over the years of the Clean River Project. I know the first time you collected the trash from the river, there was mountains and piles.
Right.
Every year as you continue to do this project, are there still large piles like the first time, or are they're slowly getting smaller?
No, it's much smaller now. You hardly see anything now. When people go up and down the river now, they just take it for granted. It's a beautiful river. It looks great. Everybody loves it. You know, it's really nice. You know, but as things happen and we get more, we pick it up immediately. Now we don't let it stay there. We just try to keep up with it. And we keep the one main area, an 8-mile stretch that we clean from Dracut to Lawrence area. It's only because our main base is in Methuen, and but we move out of that, and we've taken other areas into our scope now. We've moved up to Lowell. We've done several cleanups in the Lowell area. Chelmsford, we've gone up almost to the New Hampshire borderline, and then we've gone further south from there. We've gone down to Hayroon, Bradford, and that lower area of Methuen and stuff like that. So it's just we've made major changes in the river now, and people go along, they just can't believe how clean it is now.
Right.
Just piece by piece. But you have to keep up with it. It's not something we can just turn around and walk away from, because it will start growing again. So we're always looking for people to help us and get more people involved in it.
So other than tires and the children's toys, what's the most interesting thing you found in the Merrimack River that you wouldn't expect to find in the Merrimack River?
We found a couple safes, 3 ATM machines that somebody ripped out and broke open and then threw the empty machine in the river. Did that. We found quite a few guns, actually. Cars, of course, you know, the cars that I told you about, and over 40 cars, over 8,000 tires that we just keep taking out of there. And one of our things that made the newspaper was a 2-pound bag of marijuana. 2 pounds.
Wow.
So.
Just sitting at the bottom of the river.
No, actually it was 4 pounds. No, there was 2. No, it wasn't sitting in the bottom. It was floating. It was nice and dry. It was in a big plastic bag, and it was all packaged, individual packages inside. Probably somebody that had it was getting chased, and they just tossed it and went in the river. And we found it. And of course, a lot of people made jokes about what we were going to do with it and everything. But we just thought it would be better for publicity to just turn it in and end that, you know.
Of course.
And the temptation of somebody taking it or doing something with it, you know. So
right.
We did get rid of it that way.
So as the 8 years that this project has been going on, have there been a lot of people joining you guys?
Yes, good question. We have a lot of corporations that have finally stepped up to the plate to help us out. We've had the Siemens Corporation, Siemens Technologies, 3M, Stanley Tools, I'm trying to think of some, Keurig Coffee Company. They're unbelievable.
Oh, wow.
They're the little K-Cup people.
Yeah.
They've done it now 3 years in a row, and they've sent as many as, that's a 3-day project usually with them, they've sent as many as 300 people send 50 in the morning, 50 in the afternoon, and they do that for 3 days. And they donate some money to Clean River Project to help us continue what we're doing. And they get involved with that. So we have other companies, smaller companies, that also get involved and help us out by making donations. We had a Doyle Lumber Company down in the Methuen area, Andover area. They donated a truck to us. It's a crane, a boom truck that can pick things up and helps, saves our backs a little bit.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, it's nice. So we do get donations like that, small donations. As of yet, we haven't been able to get any federal or state grants, mainly because none of us really know how to do it. You know, it's a whole a whole new thing to learn, and it's quite involved to do grant writing. You know, grant writing is not an easy thing to do, and we don't have any grant writers on our volunteer list.
Right.
So we're working on it. We're getting it. But we are a 501(c) organization now, which we weren't at first. We didn't realize that we had to be, but now we are registered and everything. So we're doing that, and we tell everybody, you know, the money that we make and all that kind of stuff. It all goes right into Clean River Project. There's nobody on our staff. It's really a nonprofit organization because nobody gets salaries.
Right.
Everybody that does it, it's a volunteer. A lot of nonprofits have administrators and people like that do get salaries, but we don't have anybody like that. So all these years we've been doing this, it's all just volunteer people.
Do any of the cities nearby help you guys at all?
We have had some help. Methuen, for instance, they pay to have the dumpsters emptied. They supply some of the big dumpsters. They kind of told us to back off a bit because they don't have the funds to keep paying for that. And it's really not their responsibility, because it's not, all the trash that's coming down the river and floating is coming from somewhere else that's not Methuen. So just because we're based in Methuen shouldn't have to pay for it all the time.
Right.
So we do get other people to step up and say, well, we'll pay for a dumpster this time. And like the town of Andover has given us a couple of dumpsters. Lowell has paid for having dumpsters emptied, you know, supplied the dumpsters too. So we are getting some help from some of the towns.
That's good.
Yeah.
Are there any other projects that are like you guys that are either in New Hampshire towards the upper part of the Merrimack River or lower, not in your guys' 8 mile zone?
Not that I know of. Some small groups do get together and they do light, I call them light duty cleanups. They'll have you know, kids with plastic bags picking up some things along the riverbanks and along the trails along the river, but nobody that does it on a big large scale like we do. I mean, just a couple months ago we did one down in Lawrence where it was very difficult to get to, so we actually had to hire a crane to pick up our boat and put it down in the river.
Oh, wow.
Because there was no other way to get it in there. It was rocks on both ends, but there was so much trash that it needed to be done, so we got in there. The area that we did up here in Lowell last year was a huge homeless site that was deserted. I mean, there was some people there, but the trash that had accumulated through the years of homeless people being in there, it was just an awful amount. It was taking up the whole side of the river, right near the college, right by where the soccer field is.
Oh.
Right across from the soccer field, that whole area in there was just filled with trash and debris. Now it's clean. We went down there now, it looks like a beach. It's beautiful, really clean.
So, for residents that live around the Merrimack River, do you have any advice that normally people wouldn't think of to help keep the Merrimack River clean?
Yeah, just every little bit helps. If you see somebody throw something out of a car or whatever, either report that person or pick up the thing that they're getting rid of and stop that from happening. They can also get on our website on cleanriverproject.org and volunteer to come and help us sometimes. We could always use some extra helpers. We always need people doing it. You know, like we do get people, like we have a bunch of nice people from the college last year. They did a cleanup with us, and so things like that really help. Everybody has to do a little bit. You know, just pitch in and take it on yourself. You know, just bring a bag with you when you go when you're going down by the riverbank to have a picnic, and don't just take your own stuff. Take some of the other stuff that you might see laying there too.
Right.
I see surprisingly a lot of fishermen. They go down by the river and they fish and they leave all that trash from their food and their worm containers and all that stuff just lay there.
Yeah.
And you should take it with you. Take all your trash with you. Every little bit helps.
Yeah.
But we're going to keep going too. We're not going to stop.
So I know I'm going to volunteer with the Clean River Project from
Great.
now on. And I know ways to keep the river clean, but I hope everyone else that's watching this will help keep it clean too. Thank you very much,
Yeah.
Dennis, for
Well,
being.
don't forget, this is our drinking water too.
Of course.
Yeah, you know, Andover alone just took out of this river, close to 2 billion gallons of water last year, in 2012. Close to 1.9 billion gallons of water, which got pumped up to the Haggett's Pond, because most of the Andover people tell us that, oh, we don't get our water from the Merrimack, we get it from Haggett's Pond. Well, 2 million gallons taken from the river, it wouldn't be Haggett's Pond, it would be Haggett's Hole. It would be an empty hole. They can't get that much water out of that pond. So, I'm sorry to cut you
No,
off
no,
on
that was totally.
But
Now
it is
we know.
it is our drinking water, all the way from Lake Winnipesaukee, the White Mountains, all the way down to here. You know, it's all fresh water. Below Lawrence, it's a mixture of fresh water and salt water. But up here, from Lawrence up, all the way up to the mountains, it's all used for drinking water and bathing and whatever else water we use.
Yeah,
So it's a good reason to keep it clean.
yes.
Yeah.
So, very enlightening interview with Dennis.